Yes, people, welcome back to the first X-Side. This is Grounded Football. We've got Rachel, as always, Kesh, part of the Football Terrace, EGTV, always part of the show, RDS, Red Devil Studios, Devil in the Details, Danny. He's got his own YouTube channel, of course, Devil in the Details. I'm part of the Football Terrace. We're going to be talking about the Super League versus Champions League, what we want that to look like, what we expect it to look like, salary caps for players, can we force owners out? So we got a lot to cover, and everybody's got their own views on this. But first, I want to talk about the pros and cons of the Super League versus the Champions League. Does that make sense to everybody? So what were the benefits of the Super League, the benefits of the Champions League, and what was it we really didn't like in both? Rachel, I'll start with you. Seeing you're in the hot seat tonight, would you?
Oh.
What are the pros and cons of the Super League and the Champions League for you?
Do you mean in terms of, so when you say the Champions League, do you mean the reformed Champions League in 2024, or do you mean how it is now?
No, what it is now. What the Champions League is now.
I like the idea of it actually being a league as opposed to just, 4 teams in a group and then going into knockouts. I quite like the idea of all the teams sort of playing each other. Isn't that how it's going to work? Or it's like 10 and 10 or something like that, or whatever it was going to be. I kind of like that idea. So you have more variety in the games. I'd say, I don't know, it's a weird one. I just like the idea of it being more of a league than it being like just small groups into knockouts, really. But in terms of how you qualify for the Super League as it stood, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like the idea of teams being entitled to go into the Super League just because of their wealth. I like the idea of teams being there on merit. So qualifying for it, if you're top 4 or winning cup competitions or whatever, if you're actually a champion, then I think you should be going into the Champions League as opposed to just being in there because you've come 3rd or 4th. I prefer the idea of, I think we spoke about it on Twitter earlier, didn't we, Danny, a little bit about how it would be nicer if teams that actually won competitions could actually qualify for the Champions League. That would be a nice way of doing things. But I don't know, like in terms of the differences between them, I didn't read too much into it. I sort of looked at it briefly, if I'm being honest with you. But like I said, I prefer the idea of just loads of teams playing against each other rather than just being a few select teams in each group. And then some teams that are at a disadvantage because they're not as good. So you get like one good team, a bunch of average teams, and then one sort of trash team that's expected to finish at the bottom. I don't really like it that it's sort of seeded that way. I like the idea of everyone playing each other and then seeing who comes out on top, basically. That's how I would see it.
Yeah. Kesh, what about you? Firstly, though, people, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Everybody's socials and channels are in the description below, so please go follow and subscribe to them. Kesh, what about you? Did you see any benefits for the proposed Super League?
First of all, I saw the money as a benefit. Obviously, they said it will be streamed down to grassroots football, women's football. Whether or not some people are going to pretend and say, ooh, it's dirty money or whatever, it's money that could have helped. I like the fact that we would have seen a lot more elite games, the best players playing against amongst the best. The cons for me was the fact that teams wouldn't be able to get into that competition based on merit. It kind of take away the old fun factor, the ambition factor, and that dream for other teams. You then find yourself in a situation where if you're having a poor season, it just doesn't matter. How do you motivate your players to pick it up if there's nothing to aim for come the end of the season? The Champions League, as it is right now, I haven't got any particular problem with it. I know some people complain about it and say it needs a bit of refreshing, which I understand, but I wouldn't cry about it. In terms of like actually making it work, I think, as I said, I spoke to you during the week about it, and I said there's certain things that should be tweaked, and I thought they might have found a common ground and tried to work with each other and sort it out. Because this Super League thing, I'm intrigued by it. I would love to see it happen. but it needs to be done on a fair basis.
Yeah, no, I hear that. But is there anything that you were like, wow, yeah, we need this element of what the Super League are proposing compared to what the Champions League is now? We'll talk about what the proposed Champions League is going to be, or we think that will be. But from what the Champions League is now, is there anything you like about the Super League? Is there a part of that you're like, wow, yeah, we need to put an element of this into the Champions League?
I think more so just midweek games, not just based on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It would have been from, say, probably Monday all the way to Friday, whatever other way they would choose to do it. And the fact that it would have basically been done like a north and south, basically. So they would have split it, right? So it would have been 10 and the other 10 battling out with each other. And I think that would have been a great idea because you'd be looking on the other side of the table, you thinking, damn, if I get, or how are they going to do it? If it's going to do it, was it the top four or something, would have gone into a knockout phase or something like that. That would excite you. That would get you going. And I understood what Florentino Perez was saying, that the game is not as exciting for the younger viewers anymore. Because I remember watching games when it was on ITV and I used to be excited. Yeah. That excitement is not there anymore. So people can say he's talking bullshit or whatever. No, I actually commend the man for actually trying to move the game on and bring back that factor in it. Yes, he's gone about it the wrong way. And we do look at people and we do say, oh, they're pricks and they're selfish, which he is selfish. But you can be a prick and a selfish person that you actually love. And I love what he tried to do.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for me because I coach kids football from the age of 18 down to the age of like 9. And I know the kids that I coach and the kids that I'm involved in, they love Champions League football. They do watch it. I know they watch fan channels. It can't just be the group I coach, right? The groups that I coach. Maybe it's different in Spain, for all I know. Maybe it's different, but I think over here kids still like Champions League football. RDS, thoughts? What was your thoughts when you first heard about the Super League? And I'm coming to Danny last because I think he's got a different opinion or to what everyone else has got in some respect.
Well, obviously, if you've seen my Twitter post, you know my opinion on UEFA and FIFA by extension already. As I think people already said, the Super League, for me, the benefits of the Super League, the first thing was actually direct competition. So I've never been a fan of like individual globalized monopolies in industries, because I think that if you have globalized monopolies, you were one, it's a lot of power to give to a single organization, and two, the chances of reform are limited. There's no push. So the easiest example is like, I'm sure people play FIFA, the next FIFA game that comes out. FIFA have no direct competition, so there's no incentive for EA to change anything. They'll just bring out a new game, FIFA 22, that will just adjust a few things because I know people pay for it. And they can do that because they have no direct competition. When PES was in direct competition to them, they had to actually do something to try and win over the fans. So they had to improve themselves. So there's really no incentive really for UEFA right now to improve the Champions League. And actually, the new Champions League that we're seeing in 2020, in my opinion, is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. To organize things based on coefficients, to basically play substantially more games than we're playing now. I think I worked it out. If you go from the group stage to the final, you'll play like 18 games. You know, the way the whole thing works out, I think in the new format, one league of 36, but you're not playing them all. So you randomly, based on a coefficient, play 5 other teams in that 36 league, home and away, and then the top 8 go to a quarters, and then the bottom 16 play in a playoff to go into the round of 16.
What? I didn't even know that was the case. Bloody hell.
That's what's been approved. That's what's coming in 2 years. That's what's been signed. That's a new Champions League. You know, so as far as I'm concerned, the Champions League that we have now, that's dead. That's gone. enjoy it for the next 2 years, because in 2023-24, you're going to get this weird coefficient thing that no one, as far as I'm aware, liked or wanted. So I understand in that sense where, like, so part is like, well, if this was in response to that, even though I think that the way they implemented it was bad and wrong, and to be frank, to be honest, I just don't know why the club owners didn't just be like, listen, let's just speak to the fans first. Let's just have a conversation. Let's have a dialogue. This is what we think. This is what we want. We've spoken to Real Madrid. We've spoken to Juventus. This is what do you guys think? These are the benefits. If they literally just done that before they did everything, I don't think you'd have gotten this backlash. It's just the fact that they just did it without consulting anybody at any level whatsoever.
The arrogance, right?
The arrogance, that sort of like, and that's what I still don't understand. Like, I understand the benefits of the SSL, but it just kind of shows just how disconnected the owners are, where maybe 10, 20 years ago, you would have just had that conversation, you know? So I guess in what I'm saying is that, like, I don't think the Super League was an inherently bad idea. I just think that the big issue was a poor lack of communication between the owners and their fans, you know? Yeah.
Before I go to Danny, what do you think about this? Because this is a theory a lot of people have got. This was all orchestrated to push this through? So basically, people were saying that this was all a ruse. This was all these elite clubs trying to put pressure on UEFA and changing the Champions League. Do we think that was part of it?
Well, we need to. I mean, I think we'll find out in the next months or so if likes of City and Chelsea are somehow a lot richer, because there was reports coming out that, like, these guys dropped out. I know the whole fan thing was fine, but it was like, yeah, they were slipped a few extra bob. You know, more they were promised, because the big issue that a lot of clubs have was that, you know, the Champions League generates something like 2.2 billion pounds like annually, and the winner of the Champions League only gets 120 million. So a good billion plus is where does that? That just goes to UEFA. Doing what exactly? Organizing a tournament. So they're not getting their fair share. So it was obviously based on money. They thought they weren't getting enough. So if UEFA then decided, listen, guys, we're getting a few extra billion from somewhere else. Hang tight. It's cool. It's chill. The new UCL format will bring in more dough. We promise you extra revenue because we know we're going to give it to you. Just hang tight. It's fine. Safe.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, that's
Antonio Conte. Sorry, I was just going to say, Antonio Conte came out and said that basically along the lines of, UEFA do not spread enough of the money that they earn from Champions League football to the teams. That's pretty much what he said, and the change has to be made there. And if UEFA had done that, then these clubs and these owners wouldn't be looking to start a new league. But Danny, I want to come to you on ESL versus the Champions League, because you were, I wouldn't say you were 100% for it, but you did see a lot of benefits, right?
I was close to 100% for it to begin with. It's a weird one, because when it got announced, I was open to it. I was excited by it. Then I had to unpack mentally why I was, which I'm not going to get into because I'm too tired to. But do you know what it is? This is the benefit of it for me, is you're getting most of the... If the German teams would have joined, like PSG, if the Bundesliga, if Dortmund and Bayern would have joined, you would be getting most of the top teams who are the teams that are good right now and the clubs who've been good historically. And the argument that people make that it's not fair that it's a closed league because you need to give people a chance to win it. Like, you know me, Indiana, I'm a cynical guy. I go with how the world really is. You know, in the last 20 years, since they expanded the Champions League and changed it from champions versus champions to expanding it to 2-3 teams from them, obviously in the Premier League 4 teams, eventually can qualify for it. Since 1992, we've only had one new winner. There's only been one first-time winner of the Champions League in 20 years, and that's Chelsea Football Club. And then break down what Chelsea had to do to win that Champions League. You had to rely on an owner who's willing to put over $1 billion in and take those losses.
And missed penalties for Messi and
You
Robin.
know, but that's what it took to get one new winner of the Champions League in 20 years. So,
Yeah.
and Herrera put a tweet out, the illusion. People love the illusion. I'm a cynical guy. Fuck the illusion. Point blank, period. What they should have done is put everyone that's won a Champions League, so if you want to go as far down to Nottingham Forest, Steaua Bucharest, whatever, and say it's guaranteed if you won it before you're in. And then from the top 5, 6, 7 leagues, you can qualify for it. So they should have made it possibly 30 teams even. That's what they should have done. Because actually, if you think about it, if the top 6 are in and you allow one team to qualify from the Premier League, that's 7 teams from the Premier League in the Super League.
Yeah.
So that's where they messed up, because they're elitist and they're greedy. And they knew UEFA wouldn't cooperate with them, because why would you give up power and let those owners get it? And
What
the
about
thing
the
with
level
me,
of competition, Danny?
the level of competition would have been fine. It would have been fine. All this level of competition stuff, it's a load of nonsense. It's a load of nonsense. The problem with the current Champions League, which I've enjoyed for a long time, but I've got bored of, just generally as a rule. So, for example, like I watch the Bundesliga, but the second Bayern Munich go 2-0 up in a game, I don't watch that game anymore. But I noticed the people that were anti it, they do watch that game. So people, you know, shout out to Neeks, shout out to KJ. I'll follow them on Twitter. They'll keep me updated with the game. Oh, look, Gnabry, third goal, nice. Oh, nice fourth goal from Lewandowski. And I'm like, you man still watching that game? It's uncompetitive. Why am I watching an uncompetitive football match? Do you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Another thing for me is the group stage. The group stage is dead. It's been dead for a long time. Like just watching, you know, like and it's seeded to ensure the biggest teams are going to get through. So you know Bayern are going to get an easy group. You know City are going to get an easy group. Etc. 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 Even if Real Madrid drop the ball in the first 2 games, you know they're going to recover and get through. It's.
But Danny, does that mean that just because we want a change in the Champions League, and we will talk about that next, that the ESL was the answer to it?
No,
that format was the answer.
Look, UEFA are revamping the Champions League. Why? Because it has to be revamped.
No, yeah.
What these elitist owners were doing was saying, well, let's just replace it and grab power for ourselves. And quite frankly, I personally do not recognize UEFA's right to govern European football.
Thank you.
I do not recognize it. It was a group of people in Switzerland in that area who started doing it. Then through cooperation with other European bodies, created the competition. Right? They capitalized. But they don't have a divine right, as far as I'm concerned. They just don't. And don't get me started on FIFA either. So seeing them replaced, because of my disdain for UEFA, and my disdain, not my disdain, but just the fact that the Champions League gets interesting when at the quarterfinals, and the Super League would have given you, you know, as Kesh said, it's going to split it into 10. So all people saying you're going to see Real Madrid versus Man United 10 times, like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm going to see Man United 1 week versus Real Madrid, then Atletico Madrid, then another team, and another team. And then you get the quarterfinals. That's way more interesting than the Champions League is right now. Let's keep it real.
Agree.
And you know, I wasn't going to go there, but the whole fabric of football argument is a load of garbage. And I tell you why. First of all, our club been the FA Cup in 99 to 2000 to go play in that FIFA World Club where we got spanked by them South American teams. People forget about that. That wasn't the Glazers. That was Sir Alex Ferguson. I think it was Peter Kenyon. I don't think David Gill was in charge yet. You know, we've forgotten about that. You know, when we were kids in Indiana, Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans wouldn't be talking about is top 4 better than the FA Cup. What? What? That's pathetic. I'm embarrassed to admit, last season, I was there like, yes, we qualify for the top 4. That's weak. That's weak.
Yeah, but that's also where we are, Danny.
No, but what they've done, Indiana, is they've made us adjust to change, like step by step.
Yes,
They've eroded the fabric of the game step by step. It's now the goalposts are moved. The fabric of the game to me when I was a kid, Indiana, I would watch, Fulham versus a League One team in the FA Cup as a kid. I would not watch that game today because my brain's been changed.
And I think
the high expansion of the Premier League and the Champions League.
And I think it's just to add So just to answer, because you're making a very good point, is that like when we're talking about the effects from trickling down lower clubs, because obviously how much money is in the Premier League right now. Obviously, if you're a let's say a Millwall, that's the only thing I can think of, and you when we were a kid, would be like, yeah, the FA Cup's the biggest competitions. There's a financial input, but you're going to be playing in big clubs and get some finance for your clubs. I'm going to play a strong team. It's going to be competitive. It's entertaining. That's why I'm going to watch it. Now it's like, well, actually, I would rather put that towards qualifying from the Premier League, and so I'm now going to field out weak teams. So from obviously the Championship all the way to the Northern leagues, they don't put out strong teams. They don't care about these competitions because they know that the money is coming solely.
Well, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. And a goal. Hold on.
I'll come to you after. I'll get your opinion.
A goal wouldn't know this, and he wouldn't, because the football world is different. So as I said to you, I'd watch Fulham versus a League One team. A guy wouldn't know this. When I was a kid watching the FA Cup go, stories about the teams that it would save, you saw those stories often. Those stories don't even reach me now. I don't even know if it happens anymore.
You are right, Danny.
One other thing, Indiana. Sorry, bro. One other thing as well. If you said to English football fans in 2000, or even 1998, 2000, 2002, let's ditch FA Cup replays, there would have been uproar. In 2021, it's understandable and we'd accept it. I can't have the fabric of football argument. They just keep moving the goalposts, and they've changed what the fabric of football is. It isn't what it was 25, 30 years ago. Gary Neville was talking about 100-year history. English football's 100-year history has nothing to do with the Champions League. Yeah,
Danny, I think it's more to do with, for me, the structure of the ESL would affect the competitive football we would see in the Premier League.
It wouldn't.
I think it would. That's just
Indiana. I'll tell you why it wouldn't. Hold on, Kesh. I'll tell you why it wouldn't. So because of the money, right? The money would affect it. We know what the Premier League's done with money. The disparity it's created. The English football pyramid. You've got the All CNI, which is the Premier League. Then you've got the rest of it, which is the EFL, the Football League, right?
Yeah.
So like this whole argument they would destroy. Look at this. We just saw Burnley give us a competitive football match, right? We just watched that game. Burnley gave Man United a competitive game. Paul Pogba and Wan-Bissaka cover the cost of that Burnley team. So are you saying to me if we get a bit richer or a lot richer, and now it's one Man United player covers the cost of a Burnley team, is going to make that much of a difference? I don't see it.
Danny, it wasn't that. It was more of, well, you can't. I think there's two parts to this, right? So if you're Man United and you're already in this Super League, you're going to be there every season. Why are you going to risk your top players in the Premier League?
Indiana, but this is what I like.
Hang on, wait, and let me just finish my next point. I'll let you come back. Then we need to go to a gal. The next point was, what's the incentive for all the other teams? So like this season we've got Leicester and West Ham are now fifth on goal difference, right? But what's the incentive for those two teams in the ESL setup?
The incentive is one of you. So if you're West Ham, the highest finishing, it's common sense, the highest finishing team who are not part of that big six would qualify for it. Right, so there's an incentive there, right? Beyond that, though, I don't give a fuck about the top four race is a joke, and we shouldn't fucking care about it. You get rid of that stupid top four race, and it's Premier League or bust, like it used to be.
Yeah,
it was either you won the Premier League or you were disappointed. Not you felt some sense of satisfaction because you stayed in the top four to get more money to go and did it. What the fuck? Like, come on.
There never used to be any relegation. There never used to be any relegation or promotion, so.
It's relegation.
That's something new.
That should be the interesting thing. Really and truly, as a United fan, all I should care about is winning the Premier League. Did we win it? Bad season. Now I have to think about, we got second, win the top four 2 consecutive seasons. We haven't done that. It's like, no, I just, do you know what I mean?
I do hear you. I don't completely agree. I'll be honest, but there are elements of that I do agree with. I've got to go to a gal. Gal, what's your take on ESL versus the Champions League? What are the elements you like and don't like? With
So
both?
I've looked at both of them strenuously. I've actually broken down the Swiss model on my channel numerous times, and I've broken down the whole ESL model and everything they're offering me. Now, realistically, the new UCL model is there's a lot of flaws in it, and I don't get why they think having 36 teams and having a 10-game format where it's similar like a group stage where you just have more teams in the group stage and you have one-off games instead of having two games over a 6-game period. Now you have 10 games with 10 different opponents, or with 9 different opponents that you don't really play that often throughout the tournaments. That I get. What I don't get is how they're going to divide the groups. I don't get how they're going to divide the funds with more teams in it. And also, if they also said with 3 tournaments, it's going to be 7 teams could possibly make one in one season. You could have 7 teams in the English pyramid in Europe. So you could have 7 teams in the Champions League, but none in the EFL or in the UEFA Conference League or in the Europa League. So it's actually possible you could have, with the new system, you could have 4 teams qualifying, 1 team winning the Europa League, 1 team winning the Champions League, and another team getting in based on being a coefficient so high. So you could have 7 teams in the Champions League that are English. So I don't get how that's going to work. And I feel like UEFA is not offering us a good enough alternative to the Super League. The Super League is not a great alternative either. They both need to find a way to coexist and with what they want, the best parts of both things, bring them together. And you know what? Maybe then we can have a compromise. Because right now, neither of them are offering anything that is feasible, that I think is good enough for the future of football.
Oh, Red Devil Studio, you missed one key thing about the new format. They're going to let teams in who don't qualify in that season.
Yeah, they are. They are.
No, that's a joke, though.
Yeah, that's
No. They are going to protect the teams that overqualified, like Ajax, the season before. If they win their league, they automatically get in without having to qualify.
No. You misunderstood it. If a guy win their league, that's normal. It's if, say, Arsenal qualify for the Champions League, say, this season, the next season they don't, they'd get in the new format.
No, that's not true.
It's true.
There's 4 open spots for teams that don't qualify. One is to protect teams.
So hold on, if you're right, that means that's 8 teams from the Premier League.
No, there's 4 open slots for the 36 teams. There's 4 open slots for protections. 1, to protect teams with high coefficients. 2, to protect teams that went to the semifinals and quarterfinals the season before, who have to go through a qualification stage. They automatically get in without having to go through a qualification stage. Then the last 2 spots goes to the major European teams, the major European leagues get those last 2 spots. So hold on. One will go to.
Wait, that's worse.
Very worse.
That's worse than what I described.
Only 4 though.
So it's only 4. So you could finish in the top 4 and not get in the Champions League if you're West Ham.
Yep.
No, that's not true.
No, you can't. You still qualify for 4. But if you're West Ham and finish 5th, for example, but if Arsenal, for example, I actually looked at the UEFA coefficients before coming on here. If you look at it, Arsenal 11. So that shows the last 4 or 5 seasons. So if, for example, Arsenal finished 7th, let's say, they could, because their coefficient is quite high, they could then qualify for the Champions League. They won't go into the Europa League.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Let me explain this to you.
Wait. I need to ask you a question.
So you have 4 teams automatically qualifying for the Champions League. You have another 3 teams automatically going into the other European competitions.
The way you're explaining it, I don't understand. I'm not going to understand.
No. So this is the top 4.
No, I need to ask you a question.
The other 3 European spots.
Let me ask you a question so you can just tell me.
Okay.
Right. Based on the coefficient now, because Red Devil Studio seems to know what it is, if West Ham finish 4th and Arsenal finish 7th, right? Who gets in the Champions League?
You get 5 teams that go into the Champions League, and the team in the European Conference League is eliminated. So no English team will be put in the European Conference League.
So even though Arsenal haven't been in the Champions League for 2 seasons, right? So the semi-final thing, the quarter-final thing doesn't even matter. They get in the Champions League
because it's based.
We would not be entitled to a Champions League spot. But if Chelsea were to fall out, they would be entitled to a Champions League spot, and the team that finishes 7th in the league will not get a European spot.
But Red Devil Studio saying that they would.
I think you're confusing things.
So do I.
It's confusing me. It's not that complicated. Like in simple terms, the top 4 is the same. There's no issues like that. So if West Ham finish 4th or whatever, they're still going to qualify. So that's going to be fine. What they think here is that like basically the whole point of the 2 extra spots, the coefficient teams, is to say, right, based on a team's individual performance in Europe over the last 5 years. The reason why, let's say, Arsenal can still get into the Champions League if they finish 7th is because their UEFA coefficient is so sufficient because they perform well in Europe as a whole, i.e. they've gone through. This is European general, Europa League, Champions League, etc.
Oh,
So based on their performance in Europe, they can still qualify in those last 2 spots because they have the higher UEFA coefficient compared to, say, a Dortmund or a Lyon or some other team. So it's obviously across all of the top European leagues. So that's why will be allocated spots.
So if Leicester and West Ham finish 3rd and 4th this season, Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal potentially could get into the Champions League in the 2020-24 format.
But if you done it the other way around, Leicester would finish what? Say 6th, Arsenal finish 7th.
Arsenal would get in over Leicester.
Arsenal would get in over Leicester. So it's still unfair.
oh, that's shocking.
Guys,
I'm saying it's still unfair.
I watched the video from People Football,
No,
right?
but I've been reading this from The Athletic for a while. That's why what Red Devil Studio matches up with what I've been reading. Because what The Athletic has been saying, basically, there's going to be 6 English teams in the Champions League, which makes sense to me based on what Red Devil Studio is saying.
Let's move on because we're kind of creeping.
Can I just say something though?
Topics.
Can I just ask something before we move on?
Yeah.
Looking at all the top leagues around Europe, and you look at the competitiveness and how many teams is actually challenging for titles, the Premier League's the strongest overall. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You've got in, say, Bundesliga, apart from Bayern and Dortmund, who's really gonna put up an effort or build a sufficient team in that can challenge or go far in the Champions League? Should it be looked at that these other countries get one less space or something to provide for the Premier League? I think it does, because
I think Bundesliga gets 3, as far as I'm aware.
No, Bundesliga gets 4.
So
they
get 4.
4 for Germany.
They have 20 teams. How did they get 4?
The French gets 3.
Hang on.
Is it the French?
Wait. We're getting into the other topics, and we will cover everything. But I want to talk about the next topic before we really get into this. But first, people, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. All socials are in the description, as well as their channels. So please go and subscribe and follow them. So the next thing was, I want to ask you, before we get into this, what do you want to see in terms of Champions League football? Because everybody's got a different, like, we've got people in the comments now, Cam's in there. Just keep it as it is. Simple. Don't try and fix something that's not broke. Just take the corruption out of you. So, I mean, I personally would like to see something different. Rachel, let's start with you. What do you want to see? How do you want Champions League to change? Do you want it to stay the same? What do you want?
Like I said before, I want a league. I would like teams. I want to see Manchester United, for example, play against at least half of the other teams, the top teams. I want to see United versus Real Madrid. I don't want it to be a chance of them playing against them. I want there to be a guaranteed match where you can play against the best teams. I don't want it to be a thing where you play your group stages. I know we've been getting into groups where, you know, we play against PSG and that will be the only big game. And we had RB Leipzig, and then we had Istanbul. And then you get out of the group stages, and then you might play a Real Madrid or a Juventus, and then there's a good chance we'll get knocked out. But it is what it is. There, I want to see Man United, or I want to see all the big teams play each other. Basically,
yeah.
I'm tired of the group stages where, you know, you play 2 games against a team that probably won't make it out, who's basically there just because
to collect money.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I want to see big teams play against each other, and I want to see how they fare in a league, because it's very easy to sort of say, oh, this team's better than another team because they knocked them out. But we saw it with PSG versus Bayern Munich. I mean, really and truly, who was the better team over the 2 legs?
I thought Bayern were, to be fair.
That's what I'm saying. They were, but they got knocked out. That's not a real. That doesn't show that PSG are better. What would show that PSG is better is if they were consistent over a league with the European teams. That's what I want to see, and I think there'll be. I think it'll be more interesting that way. Personally, I like the idea of there being a league. It's a Champions League. It's not called the Champions Cup anyway.
It used to be called that, the European Cup.
Yeah.
To what stage though? Like everyone seems to agree they want a league. I want it to be a league format, but do you want it to be a league up until the quarters, and then you take those top teams, and it's kind of a playoff? What do you, or you want it to be a league all the way through?
How about a straight knockout format? How about less football matches?
Are you saying March Madness?
Why is everything?
They won't do that. Though,
I know, but they're always expanding, more games, more. Why? It's that the World Cup's like the beginning of the World Cup is dead because there's too many teams now.
Yeah,
too many teams. They're going to do that extra expansion. I mean,
Yeah.
Rachel's idea, I like it a lot because that's what the Super League offered, right? You see, the biggest teams in the world go back and forth. But what we were talking about on Twitter was why can't you just go back to champions?
Knockout.
Yeah.
Just go back to champions, and I don't even want 2 legs, 1 game, 1 game. If you really care about the Champions League giving teams the opportunity to win, give Ajax 1 game to beat Barcelona. They might do it. 2 legs, unlikely. The more games you have, the more likely the better team's going to win more often than not. We do get upsets. Like, I wouldn't call PSG Bayern an upset, but they're a similar level team. But for the Ajaxes, for the Portos, for all the everyone's advocating for these teams and their opportunity in the Champions League, it should be a knockout format then, for me.
Kesh, is that what you want? You want a knockout format?
I'll be up for that because listen, take away the luck of the draw and what's the thing they give you where they choose what group you go on?
The seeding.
The seeding. Take away all of that, it will be a lot more exciting. The what's it called? The away goals and things like that. Let's make it an actual toe-to-toe game where clubs are going up against each other. They know that this game you must win. As Dan said, it will give the lesser teams that, not lesser in terms of history, because a lot of these teams who are lesser now have won this tournament in the past. Let's give them an opportunity to go and win it again, because even Dan said it, over the last 20 years, only one team who's never won it before has gone and won it, and that's Chelsea.
That's so mad.
And that's mad. That is very mad.
Yeah.
So I'll be all up for that. And I don't know, maybe you could do, even if you're not going to do the knockout phase or whatever, I think you could actually add to it maybe more teams. I know Dan's saying there's too many games, but the Champions League, you could do it like a World Cup where it's not every year, personally. I don't know. I think you could do that where it's not every year. It'll be making more excited.
You take.
I think I have
2 seasons.
Yeah, over 2. So every 2 seasons you do it. Make it like a World Cup, a club World Cup.
So in between a Euros and a World Cup.
Yeah.
I can't lie. Like a club World Cup type thing, right?
That's kind of what FIFA are doing from next year.
Sorry to rain on your parade, Cash, but that's what the Super League should have been. If they were smart, make it a summer tournament, you idiots.
That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
That's why I put in the group chat that we need to talk about.
We make fun of the Nations League. But with the new European competition, why instead of increasing the teams in the Champions League, why don't you reduce them to like I'm saying just how many is it right now? What is it up to?
It's 32. No, what is it?
32.
Yeah, I think it is. It's
take away 2 spots. Take away 2 spots, right? And make it 30. Make 2 leagues of 15 where they each play each other 1 time, and then create a group stage afterwards. Instead of having all these group stages, that way you ensure that you play 50% of the best player teams in the world, and you only have 30 teams, and the remaining 2 spots can get filtered down to the Europa.
Let me ask you a question ago. So, because I'm only interested in group. I'm done with a group format if it includes Dynamo Zagreb.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that makes sense.
But that's what I want to ask a guy. Are you still happy with a group format that includes these small teams from Belgium and other countries?
My thing is, regardless, if you guys want to talk about including the top teams, you're going to have to reduce it down to even less. Are you willing to reduce the Champions League numbers down to 20 teams, only the top 20 teams, and making the Europa League now the new biggest competition afterwards. Because the Europa League's a joke also. And if you put all these other teams that were supposed to be in the Champions League anyways, now they're going to win that competition every single year, and they're going to have an easier way to get into the Champions League.
No, because it's more competitive in the Europa then. I like the idea of reducing the numbers in the Champions League, and then just having the teams with
it'd be more competitive in Europa League.
more
teams that are missing out.
You could
I'm
have
looking at an
less
NFL
games.
format where it's almost like you have European East versus European West, and the best teams, or North and South. You take you draw a line, and you just find a way to put all the teams in this bracket, all the teams in the other bracket, and you split the Premier League teams. So you put 2 of the top teams in the Premier League on this side, 2 of the top teams on this side, 2 of the top teams in Germany on this side, 2 of the top teams that, and then maybe 2 from France, 1 from there, and you take the best from the other countries, and you try to find a way to split it up evenly amongst all the different countries. So you have 2 different brackets of leagues simultaneously running, and the winners of those and some of the qualifiers are determined based on league position. The rest completely lose.
I think if you done it that way, I wouldn't do any knockouts. What I'll do is, if you're saying you got A and B, whoever wins A and B plays each other, and that's it. You just like that.
Yeah.
Wrap.
No, but
sorry,
then you're taking away the knockout competition.
Do you know what it is? Do you want to know?
That's where the most money is made.
Do you know why this format of group then long knockouts exists? Just to have more games to make more money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only reason it exists, ago. If you actually want a tournament that's efficient, you get the max high quality. If you want to have, what do they call it? Quality control. You have less games. You have less teams, to be fair, unless you can ensure they're all high quality teams, and you get to the knockouts as efficiently as you possibly can. So, like Akesh said, if you're going to have two split groups, then have the winners face each other.
But do you know why
have
there's
less
a playoff?
teams, wrap that group up as quickly as possible and
sports?
get straight to a quarterfinal.
But we don't.
Do you know why they do a playoffs in North American sports? Do you know why they do knockout legs? The reason why they do it is that is the way to determine the best teams win. In my opinion.
We don't want that though. We don't.
I've said this about I've been saying this to people on Twitter about the NBA. I don't watch the regular season because it's meaningless. But the playoffs, they won't ever change. But why do you have a sport that ensures the best team always wins? Best of 7. Jesus Christ. Best of 7.
Let me just get into a comment a minute, which I think is quite interesting. Carl Lewis says, I think you guys are suffering from big club bias. African fans find the World Cup group stages very exciting because that's as far as we go most of the time.
Okay, but Carl Lewis, Africans found the World Cup exciting when we were able to get through to the group stages in the 90s when there was less teams. Like
era, I mean, it's exciting is an overstatement when they're more like frustration sometimes. So, but
that's true. Like I don't see a connection between African football fans enjoying the World Cup more because there's more teams in it. It's like if you qualify, you're in it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Just dropping because Perez is basically just dropping stuff on Twitter in his interview and stuff. So he's speaking out. So there's just some interesting quotes on. He's basically said, he's confirmed. Obviously, the project hasn't worked. He's then said, I think one of the 6 Premier League clubs weren't really convinced of the project, and it became contagious to the rest of them. And then he says, if this project didn't work, another one will. Remember, all the 12 clubs have signed a bidding contract. The Super League project is now on standby. I can confirm. So it's still going on. So I would just keep an eye on it because he's going to be speaking. He could be just lying out of his.
No, he's not lying. He's just you got to rate him, to be honest with you.
Balls of steel.
Yeah. At least he's got the balls to actually just commit to it.
They need it.
All I know is, Danny, there's money in it for him somewhere in this.
Manchester United, for all of them.
There's money.
Manchester United, Tottenham, and the Spanish teams need this the most. Let's be real.
Do you know what it is? I can't So you realise they've all paid 8 million, right, as a buy-in, like a licensing fee. All the top 6 there, everyone done it. Juventus, AC Milan as well. So you've paid £8 million and signed a 20-year contract or whatever it is for something you weren't sure about. I can't respect that person. I can detest Perez and respect him at the same goddamn time.
We will get into that in the next one. So I want to ask, what about if we had sort of random groupings? So instead of it being seeded, random groupings, and then we had some sort of league format, less teams in the Champions League, so there's not going to be as many games. So maybe we take it down to 20 or so teams. That would create more competition in Europa. We have it as a league system, and then we take it to a quarter-final stage, and then it becomes knockout football. Would that be more of an interesting Champions League to watch? Is that a more entertaining, exciting Champions League, or would you just prefer
I'll just say this,
knockout
Indiana,
football?
You had me at random draw.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say. You had me there. I'm in.
It's a shame that won't ever happen, because the idea of having any of the big teams not make it, they won't allow that.
yeah, because of TV revenue and
Yeah,
them
that's
through,
what's sad about it. There's good ideas, but we just know it's not going to happen because of money, basically. It's kind of sad, really.
Guys,
okay, so you've killed my dreams, everyone.
I'm sorry.
The big teams have changed. The big teams have changed over our lifetime numerous times. Let's be real. Schalke, obviously not in our lifetime. We never remember. I don't remember Schalke being a big club, but Schalke were a massive club. I don't remember some of these teams in the Spanish league. They used to be dominating before Barcelona.
No. There were no teams dominating before. Real Madrid have dominated Spanish football.
No,
since the dawn of
Barcelona.
time.
Before Barcelona were not always dominating.
No. Real Madrid have always. I'm saying Real Madrid have always ruled over Spanish football.
Mm-hmm.
They've won haven't they won like 70 league titles or something stupid? Like, it's dumb.
Yeah, the 2-horse race. Yeah,
that's why they've got so many Champions Leagues, because they were getting in it. They were dominating.
Is it Deportivo, the team that used to dominate in?
No, Deportivo had a good run, like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
They knocked
they won La Liga.
They knocked Man United out of the Champions League.
Yeah.
In 2003, I want to. No, that was 2003, 2004. Anyway,
2004, I think.
Juan Carlos Valeron, baller.
Saint Etienne in France used to dominate.
Mackay, bad boy striker.
I think what we're saying is that money has changed football completely. It's very unlikely you're going to see other teams come up and dominate due to how well they've been able to scout players. Or develop a team. It's not possible.
That's a great point, Indiana, because like, as well as Leicester do, right? The problem Leicester have is you go into the Champions League and you have to face a monopoly in Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. See, the money in the Premier League it makes things interesting to a degree, but this is why I say, like, don't connect how interesting the Premier League is to Europe, because once you get there, well, there's bigger boys. If you want to be a Leicester or a West Ham, you know, Man United will drop the ball. Arsenal will drop the ball. Chelsea or Liverpool might to let you get in there for a season or two. Don't forget, Leicester won the league and then we're 8th the following season. Like it's
okay.
You know, I've got a feeling you might ask something else. I don't want to speak. I don't want to go. Go
well, I'm going to ask what we think is going to happen. So, regardless of what we want to happen for European football, what do we think the outcome of this is? So we've just heard Perez, whether it's true or not, saying that, you know, ESL is on standby in terms of repercussion for the clubs. What UEFA are going to do now? Are they going to have a good think about what they're proposing? Are they going to change that up? What will we be getting as a new Champions League? Not what we want, but what will they be giving us as a new Champions League? We'll start with RDS.
Well, they'll be giving us what they sneakily passed through on Monday, which is this new reformatted 36-tier one league system where you'll play. I think it's 5 games home and away of the same team. So 36 teams, you only play 5 of them. That's based on a coefficient as to who you play. Then based on your points, you'll be between first or 8th. You know, so first or 8th. You know, so the top 8 instead of those of the team in the 36th one league will go straight through to the round of 16, and the next 16 teams will go through to a playoff, also based on a coefficient, and then the winners of that playoff will then meet with the other 8 into a round of 16, and then the knockout will continue. That's what we're getting from UEFA. As far as where there's no imminent to change it or to reform it, because they obviously, much like the UEFA Nations League, much like the European. I mean, now that I think back about it, like you saw hints of this in the expansion of the European Championship when they made the stupid decision to expand it and then say, you know what, even if you finish third, you can still qualify, which kind of defeats the objective of group stages in the first place. So it was already there, so that was coming. So
they literally, as you was going through your thoughts, I literally was thinking the same thing. They've remixed what they did for the European Championships a decade ago and transferred. They got no new ideas. By the way, guys, that's how we got that Ireland-France game where Henry handed the ball when everyone wanted to kill him.
Does anybody think? Something different will happen? Gal, do you think they have to look at this UEFA? What's happening with the ESL and make any sort of changes to what they proposed?
We all know when reform is going to happen. The people who are in power and the people who originally were in power go through struggles for power, and when to meet in the middle, there's going to be reform. Now, it obviously is not going to be in a situation where Arsenal automatically qualifies or anybody automatically has a license, because fans and football has spoken and they don't like that, and they know if they ever try that again, they might as well just sell all their clubs, because it's never going to happen, right? So I think this is going to be a situation where there's reform. The Premier League are going to get a bigger cut. All these major clubs.
I don't know how UEFA have been harmed by this whatsoever. How have UEFA been harmed that they were pushed?
UEFA have been harmed massively. Their situation, they have been shown that they don't. These clubs that are getting
more money. They're getting billions more money.
These major clubs have shown UEFA that we can do this without you. If we really wanted to, we could do this without you. It's just
go. Do you know what they're going to do?
We did not do a good. They're saying they didn't do a good enough job thinking about the pyramid and thinking about fans' outrage. They didn't think about the PR side of things. You know what? UEFA are lucky that the fans completely were against this, because if the fans were not against it and everyone wasn't against it unequivocally, UEFA would have been dead in the waters. They had no leverage. The only leverage they had was FIFA was on their side and the fans were on their side.
You say that ago, but all UEFA are going to go and do is get more money for the big teams.
Yeah.
And what I find interesting is I want to see where people's outrage are when you find out, when you take a moment and think, oh yeah, that thing that we didn't want, where you don't have to actually qualify for the Champions League to get in it. This new format has it. How has this gone under the radar? Where's the anger and outrage about this? Where's the fabric of football? Where's the fabric of football conversation?
Nobody knows the Swiss model. Nobody has Indiana. You can share my screen now, because I could explain to you guys the actual 4 slots, what they are. I have.
Rachel, can you share his screen? Are you on your computer? I'm on my phone. Request to share it, go.
I've already requested. Yeah. So as you guys can see, that is one of the spots is going to go to the coefficient, right? I can't actually play the video, but the second slot is going to go to one of the winners of the 5 major leagues. Okay.
Wait.
One of the
Indiana's face.
No, not one of the winners. One of the people for one of the teams from the 5 major leagues will get that other slot. Okay. So they'll just be given an extra slot to one of the 5 major leagues, right? Another team will be getting that performed well in recent Champions Leagues, but did not qualify for this one. Okay.
I'm bored already, bro.
Okay, so a go.
And then finally, the last one is going to go to teams that are not guaranteed Champions League spots.
That's pathetic.
So so 4
Charity
teams.
FC.
4 teams are going to get into the Champions League that didn't qualify for it.
No. But this is teams that are guaranteed qualification spots that that perform so well that they shouldn't have to go through qualification.
Okay. Very, very simple. If you don't finish in the top 4, you can still qualify for those 4 red spots.
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's only in one scenario. Let me show you.
No,
which
it
scenario that
doesn't
is.
matter if it's one scenario. The 4 slots are there for all of those scenarios.
That's
It will happen. It's guaranteed you're going to get 4 teams.
no. The 4 slots are used differently, as I just explained. This is the only slot that comes into play.
Okay,
But
a goal.
his
Wait,
point
a goal. If
the
any of
Gow's
those 4
point is,
slots, do
yeah,
any of those 4 slots state you have to finish in the top 4 in your league?
No,
that's his point.
only two. 1 second. The last one, yes. The last one, yes. You have to finish high in your league.
No,
The
it has to be in
the
the top
first one-
4. No, a goal. What you're saying doesn't make sense because if it's not top 4, then there's no points of the yellow slots. So all the yellow slots are normal Champions League qualifying spots.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why would you have a red spot that has the same rules as the yellows? You're not explaining
No,
it right.
those
The
four
Gal,
slots-
the first one
slots
of
are the
doing
new
best in
slots.
the league, that's out of top 4. So the first one
Those
you're
4
talking
slots are
about,
the new slots. They're explaining what the new slots are for.
But why would you create 4 new slots when you've got yellow slots for teams that qualify?
yeah,
That's what don't make no
Gal, the
sense.
first one that you're talking about doing best in the league. Best in the league is the spot that's given to the team that's basically high in the UEFA coefficient that finishes outside of their top 4.
So, for
Yeah.
instance, it'd be
That's what it
Arsenal
is.
this season,
So
right?
That's
Arsenal,
what. So
Spurs,
a goal, you're
whatever goes
missing
to
it.
that.
A team that doesn't finish in the top 4 can qualify for this Champions League.
Yes.
Wait, wait. Let me just go on this and correct me if I'm wrong. 1 slot for if Arsenal were to finish 7th, they could get in. They could take 1 slot. If you win the Europa League, you take another slot.
Yep.
Yep. And if you win the Champions League, you take the other slot.
Yeah.
Where's the 4th slot?
This is to basically diminish the jeopardy that it would cause for these bigger clubs. That is
Where's
one
the
of
4th slot?
Okay.
I think the 4th what they said is that if a team has performed recently in the recent Champions League, so for example, a good example would be like Lyon. Lyon, for example, got to the
Last
semi-finals last year, but then they finished 7th in the Ligue 1. So given they overperformed, I think that spot will go to a team that surprisingly did well to almost keep them going. So I think that's what the 4th spot goes to.
I
don't
don't
like
like.
Are you guys
I don't
still?
like that at all.
Is this that much different from guaranteeing Arsenal for 15, 20 years? It's very different.
No.
A goal. All they've done. This is what I was
No.
explaining before you jumped on the stream. UEFA and Premier League, they're smarter than these owners. They know you have to get people used to something, then you move the goalposts. So right now it's 4 slots. In 10 years, that'll be 6 slots.
Exactly.
And then it'll be 8 and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
No,
exactly.
but imagine if you get to the semifinals of the Champions League the year before, but you finish 5th in your league and you're not qualified for the Champions League the next year, and
they let you in.
They're protecting the asset of the league. They're trying to make sure they have the best teams in the league.
So
No.
basically,
If you don't deserve to be there.
Then you
You
can't
wait
make the
for it.
argument. You can't make the argument of what's it called again?
Fabric of
Competitiveness
Yeah.
or achievements, because the whole point of going to the Champions League is that you're actually balancing being in a cup competition with domestic football. So a lot of people made the argument people should deserve to go to a league based on their achievement in the league. Now you're saying actually no, your achievement in the league is irrelevant. Your performance in Champions League is what matters. So. And what you'll find is that clubs will then say, "Oh, it doesn't matter about a league form. We'll just put all our eggs in baskets in Champions League, knowing that we're going to get more money from the Champions League anyway. So why field a strong team in the league?" So you have one of the same issues that people had with the Super League in the UCL. So,
but do you see why I want this whole 4 Champions League spots in the Premier League abolished? Because you can
it's
just
shocking.
Arsene Wenger, sorry, Kesh, your manager, top 4's a trophy. And your fans, rightfully so, said that's bullshit. That's bullshit. It can't be a trophy.
But it was though, wasn't it? Because it got them in the Champions League.
And
So
this
to
is the
them,
thing. Let me ask you a question, Indiana, because
Yeah.
you've been asking everyone else questions. Time to put you on a hot seat, mate.
Thank you.
If let's say the Super League went ahead, right? Do you think Chelsea and Manchester City stop trying to win the Premier League title?
No.
So what's the problem?
That's what I said.
No, with
No,
the Premier League. With the Premier League. Not forget Europe. What's the problem with the Premier League?
My
So
only
that's what
issue,
I'm saying. That's what I said as well.
no, my issue is, Danny, I like those games. I like the Chelsea West Brom game, right? where West Brom could actually compete with Chelsea. I just feel that if you pretty much double the amount of money that they can spend, then they're going to blow them out of the water. And I like the fact that West Ham are competing for top four. I like the fact that West Ham could actually could get a season in the Champions League, and they could get Champions League money. I like that. I like the Leicester can get in there.
So, well, look, them getting Champions League money, that's always an anomaly anyway, because Leicester got it for a year. Ultimately, the wealth of the Premier League.
No, but it's great for their fans, Danny.
No, it is nice for their
football.
fans. It is for their fans, but I'm a bit of a wanker, so I don't care about their fans like that, if I'm being honest. Like, for me, it's just the Premier League should be about the title. It should be about
I get
the
that.
title.
I'm with you there.
If we win it, then we get to go to Europe.
No, I just think it's very. Yeah. I think it's very like none of us on here are Chelsea or City fans, but I think it's wrong that Chelsea or City fans should be talking about this in any way that would make in a positive manner. Being that when you think before 2003 what Chelsea were, and you think what City were as well, from the early noughties, and I know you're going to say FFP has changed things, what have you, but who is there even a chance for there to be another City or Chelsea if we went into this ESL?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because the Premier League is open to business. You see all these people, Johnny of all people, tweeted this 50 plus 1 rule, right? Everyone's just being emotional. This is a good model. The 50 plus 1 rule, the Germans were smart enough to introduce this in 1998 because they wanted to keep the integrity of their game. And the whole point of that rule is to deter commercial investment. Because commercial investment is going to attract people that's going to make a profit from your game. But what that also does, sorry, Kesh, is solidify who's already wealthy. So let's say we got that 50 plus 1 rule in our league, for example, it would just solidify the clubs that are already wealthy, and you will get nobody coming in to do exactly what you asked. Can we get someone in to pump money into this football club and take them up to the top? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen if you got that 50
let me ask you a question.
But
what would you rather have? City, Mansour, Roman type owners, or would you rather have 50 plus 1 or those kind of owners? Which one would you prefer?
I don't need either. I just need an owner who cares about winning and doesn't want to take money out of my football club.
So that is a Roman, right?
That's it. No, because we don't need no one to put money in. Roman Abramovich, he covers Chelsea's losses. I don't think Chelsea fans realize how lucky they are.
Man United are self-sustained, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
When owner comes in and gets rid of the debt, then they don't have to put any money into it. Yeah, because
this actually brings us on to our next and maybe last topic, because we've been going for about an hour. But please, people, smash the like on the video, subscribe.
I just want to say in there before you move on.
Get into the description, follow everybody, and subscribe to their channels. Go on, Kesh, quickly before we move on.
I was saying, because I know you were talking about earlier about the clubs getting this 350 mil or whatever for 15 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't see a problem with that, because these owners going into this deal and airing the money that they're getting, they're not planning to put all this money back into the club. So I don't think it would have mattered. That's the whole point. I don't get where everyone's coming with this, that they're going to spunk all of that. They're not going to spunk all of that.
Can I add to that?
I just don't like it, Kesh, if I'm honest.
Indiana.
I want it to be as equal as possible.
But your point about Chelsea and West Brom, the way the Premier League is always chasing money and getting bigger and bigger, that disparity between Chelsea and West Brom is going to get bigger anyway. All the Super League does is just accelerate the process.
Yeah.
Rather than get you there slowly and let you get acclimatized to this, I'm gonna beat you over the head with it right now. That's all.
I just don't like it, if I'm honest.
No, that's fair.
That's I want it to be as I want football to be equal as possible. For me, like as a Manchester United fan, I want to win the Premier League, but I want to win it with City at their strongest, Chelsea at their strongest, Liverpool at their strongest, Arsenal at their strongest. I don't want to win a Premier League. Of course, I'd still want to win a Premier League title, but it wouldn't mean as more to me if Arsenal were still in ninth, if Liverpool were in seventh. I want to battle it out with all of our rivals, the top six, and win the Premier League. I want it to be as competitive as possible, and and I also want the West Hams to be able to take points off of clubs. I want a really competitive league, but that's just I am greedy.
But-
I do.
but that's
You
what I'm
had
saying.
it. You had it.
But it still
But it was-
could have worked though, because even though these clubs only get that money in, I still think you could still. Personally, I still think football needs a wage cap anyway. And these owners was never going to pump all this money in. It was just a money making scheme for them to make more money while the club can become self sustainable and not actually spend their own cash. That's all it was going to be in my eyes.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I was
Let's
just going to
get
say,
in.
Indiana,
Yeah.
you had that when it was the original top four.
Yeah.
Golden
I
age
know
of the
that.
Premier League. Then that will never get that back, as far as in my
I
opinion.
remember.
Yeah.
It
Those are the best.
maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just thinking back. Like I miss football. Like I miss Roy Keane and Vieira. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Where are we? Okay. Can we get owners out of clubs? Can the fans get these owners out of clubs? Let's start with the gal.
If we don't put pressure on them, we can never get them out of clubs. So we have to put whatever pressure we can put on them. Can we get them out of clubs? Yes, over time. You're not going to get them out of the club in 2 days. But at the end of the day, if they don't want to sell, nothing can stop them from selling if you don't put pressure. So I feel like, yes, you can, but you have to first have the manpower and the people behind you to put the pressure on them.
Rachel, thoughts?
You know what? From like a United point of view, this whole Woodward thing, last night when we found out about it, don't get me wrong, I was happy that guy was gone. Don't have to see his face anymore, etc., etc. But I don't see a reason for the Glazers to sell right now. If Perez is telling the truth and that the plans are still in place to have the Super League and whatnot, then why are the Glazers going to sell? As long as the money is coming in for them, which it will, because this club makes ridiculous amounts of money, I don't see why the Glazers will sell, if I'm being honest with you. I don't have the hope that a lot of United fans have. And I understand their hope. I just don't see it, personally. We'll put the pressure on. We'll call out Glazers out, do the protests. But they've never cared about our protests before. Like, the green and gold scarves, when the outrage that happened when they first, like, bought the club, they didn't care. Because they knew, like, from then, I believe they planned this from then to go into the Super League, like to create a Super League. So if they didn't care, 18 years ago, and the plans in place now, there's a structure in place for them to actually have a Super League, what reason do they have to leave? And I think it's the same for Kroenke and the rest of them anyway.
Yeah.
The
RDS.
difference is you guys are in massive debt. We're not in
We've
as much debt
we've
as
been
you.
in debt for 18 years. It's gone,
No, but their
it's
whole
gone
plan
down and come up
was to
again.
get out of this debt using
No,
this.
it's not. It's not a goal. It's not.
That's not how it's been working. Trust me.
No, it's not. RDS. Do you think the people have the power to get the Glazers out, the Kroenkes out?
Absolutely. I live in Newcastle, and Newcastle fans been trying to get Mike Ashley out. And last time I checked, he's still here. And the Premier League, that apparently the good guys blocked a move for someone to come in. So can crappy owners sue crapper? Possibly, if you factor in the Premier League and the investment and stuff like that. I mean, when it comes to Manchester United, I mean, I think people forget with Manchester City that Sheikh Mansour bought Man City at about, was it 200 million, I think at the time, which is pocket change. It was nothing. Manchester United are worth 4 billion. I don't know many people that I have in a pandemic right now, 4 billion, just like 4 billion to just say, right, yeah, we're going to purchase Manchester United and also turn a profit for Manchester United as well. And on top of that, you then have to start to think of what is the type of character. I know I've mentioned 2 times that if they do that, actually have that type of money, because a multi-billionaire has either got their money via somewhat dodgy means, which will obviously potentially implicate Manchester United, or the way they've got the money is by financial shrewdry. So you're not necessarily going to get someone who's going to be like, yeah, we're going to spend 200 million on Mbappe and Haaland and all the rest of it. it's like I was saying, I don't like the Glazers full stop at all. I don't, I don't. But if you're going to say, right, next person that comes in has the same financial acumen as Mike Ashley, then what? There's been no gain here. If anything, there's been a loss because you're now stuck with this person for goodness knows how long. So, do I think fans get owners out of clubs? I don't know what the evidence has been really in the last 20 years of seeing any fan, aside from clubs that have in maybe the Championship or League One. But then, there's no examples, is what I'm saying. I don't know of any examples where they've done it and the club has then gone on to actually achieve great things. I don't see it.
Kesh, what's your thoughts? I mean, we've seen Chelsea's. I mean, for those of you who've seen Spurs, that was something different.
Stop it, please.
And then, no, I'm sorry, it was that was shocking. That was terrible.
It was
Can I
unreal.
put it? Can I share screen this? This was hilarious.
It was unreal.
Yeah,
my
do it at the end.
God.
We'll finish on it, Gal. We'll finish. Let's do
Honestly,
that.
I gotta head out.
Hey,
Did you
I
guys
have to
see
show, I
Aaron's
have to
tweet
show my
about,
screen, bro, just for that.
about living in an alternate reality? This isn't real life, man. This is that
Mate.
Spurs protest. Gee,
Oh
God.
my
Listen,
God.
Gal, if it ends up just being you and Samuel outside at Arsenal, then I want a video.
There's
of
gonna
that
be
as well.
at least 10,000 people, minimum.
You think 10,000 people are going to turn up at Arsenal? Turn up at the Emirates?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so.
You understand how powerful it is when you have Jack Wilshere, Ian Wright, AFTV, everyone moving in unison.
Well, let's see if they turn up as well.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know if it's 10,000 powerful, but
it's time to be excited. That's what John will say. Time to be excited.
Yeah,
Mate.
I mean, there's a Manchester United protest as well on Saturday.
day before the game.
Personally, listen, I know a lot of people are coming out and they're saying it's the Chelsea fans protest that made this happen and all that.
Oh my gosh!
Stop
please
your
no.
noise, man.
Please no.
Don't be so. Oh God.
You know what? I'm sorry.
You
can I
know,
just say
do
something
you
about
know,
this?
do you know how fickle you have to be to actually believe that?
I'm sorry.
Like,
Chelsea
there was higher
fans
powers
are-
for whatever reason. Why? Obviously, this was
Bribery.
never going to work. This was never going to work unless the clubs stayed. Someone's bum cheeks tweet, and that's what collapsed it. It tweets. It was itchy bum time, and it just all went to shit.
Kesh, do you know what?
I love your
Neeks-
British references.
Shout out to Neeks because Neeks made this point earlier. Chelsea fans and other fans can big up Roman for pulling out, but at some stage he also sanctioned it to go in. So it's
Not
way
according
up,
to
way up.
Monster and Prime.
There's no moral high ground. There's
Yeah,
no moral
there
high
isn't.
ground whatsoever.
My
ridiculous.
question is, because we're going to have to wrap up soon. My question is, do you think you can get these owners out with protesting? Do you think the protesting is going to have any effect?
What I don't. I think you can show your what's the word? How frustrated you are, and the years of frustration, and over a period of time. If this Super League doesn't work, then you might have a chance to force them out. Then they might say, you know what, these people don't like us. We came here with this idea to buy this club and go into this European Super League, and it's not going to happen. They might lose their interest. Then they'll sell. The problem is, how many people out there have got the sort of money to go and buy a Man United football club, an Arsenal football club? You're talking billions, yeah?
Nobody, or not many.
No, there's people out there. Like, obviously, there's that Dangote guy, whatever. He's got the thing. He's built his our refinery and everything. He can come up with the money to buy it.
Okay, so one person might decide, but how many more?
That's what I'm
Red
saying.
Devil, man, stop being so naive.
There's people out there would.
Sorry.
There's people out there that would. They would do it. There's a money for it. When people, it's like players. When people say players ain't up for sale, there's a certain sum. If you put it on the table, that person will sell. That person will be up for sale. And I don't think it will happen overnight, as Igal said, because there's still a possibility that this Super League will happen. So for as long as that idea is still there, and the chance is there, they won't sell. So we have to just wait and see how this plays out.
Maybe I just
Okay.
think that when people when owners across the world globally have been losing like millions, hundreds of millions, of pounds, like it's not. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like at this moment in time, in a global pandemic that's affected the populace, of not just everyone in football, but just across the globe, it doesn't make any financial sense to make a significant investment when you have no clear. Because right now, what I'm trying to say, right now, we still have no clear plan of what's going to be happening with football, with gate receipts, commercial systems. So if I'm a business and I'm like, I have no clear idea what's going on with match receipts or advertising, etc. The next year or two is still unclear. So why would I make a risky investment and invest 4 billion or how many or so billion in buying clubs when potentially for the next 2 or 3 years I may not even turn a profit?
But that's exactly the point I'm trying to put out there. The people who are interested in, and that's why I mentioned Dangote, he is a Arsenal fan himself. Unless that person's got some serious interest and it's not just to do with money, the chances are very limited.
I don't know.
They're actually not. They're actually not. They're actually not. So there were a lot. First of all, just Google how many Chinese billionaires are developing every year. It's crazy. There are people that want to buy football clubs, but the owners don't want to sell because you don't sell something that grows at a ridiculous rate that a football club does. Like you said, the Sheikh bought City for 200 million. City are worth like what 2 billion now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In a decade? It's a crazy amount of growth. You're right, Red Devil Studio, when you say you need to wait until the new Premier League deal and the new Champions League format has come in. If you're a smart investor, because at that point, or you could look at it two ways. I come in now because actually I can buy the club for cheaper, or I look at what the football landscape like is in 2 years. It'll cost me more to buy a football club, but at least I know where the financials are coming in. In the case of Manchester United, you'll be purchasing a self-sustainable football club, football club that generates profit. The debt thing in football, people only look at it funny because it's football. Yeah, Netflix have like 150 billion worth of debt.
Countries are in debt.
Countries in debt. Everyone's in debt. I don't know if the average person knows this, but debt is an economy that the rich people make money from.
Yes,
they trade debt. Do you like? I don't know how it works. I just know they do it.
Terry's explained it about 5 times.
And I don't get it.
I don't get it 100%. But
isn't America in debt because for every dollar they print, they make a loss on each dollar? It's like $1.04. It's something strange like that.
Yes,
so
because
everything's got debt.
Because money is artificial and we print it and fabricate it out of thin air.
It's a promise to pay money.
Like
to pay for money is a promise.
But you know what fans can do, Indiana? You can create the conditions for someone else to get the owners out.
Do you think?
And that's all you can do.
So my thing is with this is that I feel it's a football problem. It's not a singular club, right? So why are fans just going to their own clubs? And I know there's football rivalries and things, but I've said it many times over the last couple of days. I feel that with a Manchester United Liverpool game coming up, the 2 biggest clubs in England, you could have Manchester United and Liverpool fans standing together protesting for the same thing, and that makes I know you're gonna laugh at it, but that
no, you know what it is, Indiana.
That makes headlines, right? That's coverage.
But Indiana, everything you've seen this week, if Man United and Liverpool fans turn up for the same game to protest, what do you think happens by the end of the day?
Yeah, no, I get you there. That's what I'm saying. This is why I put a tweet out earlier. I put a poll out earlier. Would it be a good idea for this to happen?
It takes 2 people.
Yeah, 2 people. I get that. Yeah. Someone who's been drinking on a sunny day. I get that. But I'd like to see what I'm trying to say is I'd like to see a show of force from football fans as a whole. I'd like to see Villa fans doing it outside their club, maybe. I'd like to see West Ham fans do it, not to their owners, but against football and the problem with these owners and UEFA, everything that's wrong with football.
Danny, is that not what when you tweeted earlier today? And I said, do you really think these rivals, as much as we were saying we've just fought a huge battle as one unit as the football community, you think these rival fans want Arsenal and Man United to be out the mud from these owners
There's
that
no way.
are got us in shackles holding us back? Everyone's
You're
saying,
not the only person that said that to me. I put out a tweet yesterday as well. And as I was writing it, I was like, yeah. Basically, what I said was Chelsea and City should pay United back by teaming up with the other 14 teams in the Premier League, creating a rule like they have in the NBA, where as a member, if you think there are other members in this Premier League who are working against your interests, you can remove them. That rule exists in the NBA. And as I was writing it, I was like, well, if you're Chelsea and City, you want the Glazers to stay in charge, you know?
Exactly.
And that's the problem. Everyone,
and that's
there's
one
no
of the
good guys
reasons.
here.
That's
No
one of
good
the
guys.
reasons when this Super League thing was talking about. And I said, listen, I'm gonna watch my team. You think I'm gonna condemn my team for wanting to be in there and not be left behind?
I said that.
By all the other
That's
teams.
what I said as well. I would
Yeah.
find it very difficult not to watch Manchester
They
United.
call me
We
There's
don't
no
watch.
way.
Everyone would watch.
people are
Everyone said
angry.
they
They're
wouldn't.
liars.
I
They're
don't
not.
believe
They're
it.
not. It's
Liars.
fake. You know what I call it? I call it fake outrage because there's people out there who are genuinely upset, and then there's everyone else who are fake outrage because they're like, I don't know what level of outrage I should have. So you have one person saying, I'm never gonna watch this again. You're like, other guy seeing that, he's like, you know what? I agree with you. In the back of his mind, he's saying, if this goes through, I'm watching it though. I don't care. Because if Bayern Munich are playing PSG and you have Sampdoria on TV, no way in hell Gary Neville's watching Sampdoria over Tottenham versus Arsenal. You're a liar.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
absolutely.
It's true.
I've seen him. I've caught him out saying things about Arsenal about a game that he never watched before because I've heard him say stuff like, "Oh, Arsenal played that last game. I don't know how they drew. They didn't even create any chances." If you watch the game, we created a lot of chances. We just didn't finish our dinner. The man clearly didn't watch the game. He's talking about games that he hasn't even watched. So if he's not watching Arsenal versus Brighton, what makes you think he's going to watch Sampdoria? The guy's a liar, man.
I don't think we should go into analysing Arsenal because
Are you saying Sampdoria? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
How you know about
That's what he said.
Sampdoria? How you know about them Italian teams that go? Look at you doing your football research.
He's on Google right now.
Sampdoria. Wow.
Honestly, guys, you guys don't know what I'm going through. I'm in the middle of my fantasy basketball playoffs. It's crazy.
First world
Yeah.
problems, man.
Are we going to play this clip or we just end the stream? What's going on?
Yeah, you could just end it. If you want, I can get it up for you. 1 second. No, Indiana, I can get it up for you.
That's what she said. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Okay, which one do you guys want to see first? Do you want to see it in order?
No, just the one.
Okay, which one? The one with where he goes up
best
to the
one.
troops guy, or the one with the guitar?
The one with the guitar. The protest at Spurs.
Oh, it's the
I've
Tottenham.
seen that. I've seen this.
The protest at Spurs.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen now.
Tottenham are so small, man.
Yo, imagine being in just the fly on the wall in that conversation. They had that conversation they planned that. They were somewhere in the house.
I'm not having that, bro. Nah, this is embarrassing, fam. Look, no one's even shouting. Embarrassing, bro. You lot are joke, man. Bro,
Where is it?
Recording, fam? This ain't a flipping concert, bro. This is
Put
a
it back to the
protest,
start.
bro.
Put it
What's
back to
going
the
on here,
start.
fam? What's this? What's this? What's going on here?
Look, encore with the
Nah, you lot are
merchandise.
joking, man. I'm not having that, bro. Nah, this is embarrassing, fam. Look, no one's making me laugh, man. You're just casually munching your food. What's going on? This everyone's going mad.
Yo, where's encore with the merchandise? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Whoa. There we go. Yes. And that's that.
Oh my god.
You want to see the best one? This is the best
You
one.
see, there's a lot of people there. We're doing a protest, and we want Daniel Levy gone. We want Joe Lewis gone. We want everyone relevant to the board gone. We want our club back. Look at everyone here, bruv. It's kicking off, man. Look at all these protesters, bruv. Look at the ratio from the spectators. It's a long day for everyone, man.
Hey, leave me alone. Let me eat my food, man. Wow.
Coming. Look at this. Oh, it's ambulance. Everyone is going crazy right now. I'm sure Daniel Levy is scared right now, boss. Don't you think? I think he's scared. Look at everyone going mad.
Oh my god.
I tried to keep a straight face for
This is
so
why
long.
we're here. That is why we're wearing this merchandise. This is why we're here. We're here to spread the message. People are fucking going mad right now. I can't even believe it, bruv. Look at this. This is crazy, fam. So many people. Bro, there's so many people. Oh my days. No, Levy is fucking. Is that him? Oh no. Okay. Bro, what the fuck? That's it, guys. This is why we are.
Listen, people.
You want to see the best one? This
I
is
thought
the
that
best
was the
one.
best one.
No, it's
Yeah.
this one,
Troops
Uncle, the
one. Where is it?
merchandise.
Oh, these guys are here.
Yes.
This one's funny.
Oh,
Go on, shout a bit more. He can't hear you, bruv. He's in there. Shout a bit more. Shout a bit more. Tell him again. That's it, bruv. Tell him again. Tell him again. Tell him again. That's it, bruv.
look at him laughing at him,
And
gassing him up.
again. Tell him again.
That's the friendly sport that gets you into fights.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
guy
Oh,
there.
and then this is the one where he found troops.
And I just saw troops. What's going on? This bruv. That's
This
it.
guy's not a Tottenham fan, I'm telling you.
That's not troops. That's not troops. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Trust me, bruv. It is funny.
This is too much. This is for fraud watch, man, not grounded football.
It's not even the fact that we've gone to this actual thing.
Yeah. We're wasting our time though, don't you think? Like,
Listen, we need to do something to get these fucking owners out.
but he's not going to do anything. Let's be real though, man.
Okay, cool. So what are you going to do then? You're going to just stand here
I'm just going to go back to work and just carry on my life. You get me? Like, you think I care? Come on, man. You think this club is going to ruin my day, bro? You think I'm a joke, man? Please, bro. Come on, bro. There's more to life. There's more to life than Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, man. Come on, man. This team is dead, bro. Wait, like, come on, man. Hold on, I was about to leave and I just saw troops.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Final time from White Hart Lane. Everyone's dusted. Everyone said what they had to.
Everyone's
People are
dusted.
getting mad, bro. Like, go home, man. Go home. You know what you're saying next season, bro. Just leave, man. You're wasting your time, man. Yeah. That was fun. That was. Oh my god, is that? Oh man, smoking as well, man. Oh, this is a long day, bro. This is so sad, man. This. And just.
Yo, man's a comedian, you know?
The feds are following us. Everyone's going crazy. We're going to the South Stand. Everyone's marching together as one. Everyone is going crazy. So much noise, so much chaos. I can't even hear myself.
I can't deal with this commentary. So much chaos.
There's a lot. Everyone's together as one. The stadium is here.
Oh,
Where we going? We might as well go Seven Sisters, bruv, because this is a long walk, man. What's going on?
no, this guy needs his own show, bro. He needs his own show.
Following us. Everyone's going crazy.
You know what happened there, yeah? The police came by and just bounced because they saw that was going down.
What's going on, Uncle, man? Uncle, bro.
This
What's
guy's
going
buying
on, man? Why are we buying
merchandise at
merchandise?
protest.
What's this kid doing here, man? What's going on? This is... Oh, Lord. This is embarrassing, bro. The kid go home, man. What's he at school? Bro, I don't understand this, fam. You're buying merchandise, Uncle. What's going on, Uncle, man? Uncle, bro. What's going on, man? Why are we buying merchandise?
I'm sorry, I turned grounded football into comedy.
Are you seeing this, Daniel? Daniel, you bald pussy, oh, fam. You seeing
Guys, sorry, I've got to head off. So, but like,
Yeah, we're ending the stream. Listen, people,
Yeah,
please,
so, yeah,
please
yeah.
smash the like button.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get in the description, follow and subscribe to everyone else's
You
channel.
seeing this,
And
fam?
let's see whether the
Yeah,
protests
this is
this
it,
week
bruv. This is it,
are any
fam.
bigger than Spurs.
There we go. Now